All right, guys. Welcome to another show. Can everyone hear me? I believe so. What's up, Carla Kid? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Glad to have you aboard this show. Glad to be back and stuff. It's been a little bit. I got kind of got down and out with the bug, whatever's going around the school these days. So.
Uh, hmm, I
But I did.
I
Go
haven't
ahead.
been sick for a while, so hopefully that doesn't happen.
Well, when you have kids and stuff, it happens. School is a germ fest, and it was hitting us both rough, pretty rough this last weekend and stuff. So, but doing really good and stuff. Been going out a couple of different times and stuff, and been especially when it was really cold here last couple of days, last week. Uh, cold, but nothing to report. Nothing interesting. No action, of course, but do have a pretty good show lined up for you guys today, I think. This is the third installment about Paul Freeman and stuff. We're going to explore a little bit on the tracks and maybe talk a little bit on both sides of the coin of reading some articles that support and also try to take apart Paul Freeman's Bigfoot tracks, some of the tracks, I would say, anyways, and poke some holes, and we'll take a look at some different pictures and stuff, and dive into a little bit of the Freeman book. We got some interesting pictures there and stuff. So that's what we're pretty much going to be doing today and stuff. So are you ready, James, and stuff? What's been on your radar and stuff? I know. Have you got out or anything? You've been freezing out there.
uh, yeah, no. I want to go out. I just haven't had time. So maybe soon. We'll see.
Yeah. And I was about to do some stuff this weekend and stuff, and I got in my car, and my brakes were a little stiff, and I'm thinking, oh, geez, what the heck's going on? So, but tried it again a little while later. They were a little bit better, so maybe it's just the cold.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, or if not, it was not leaking brake fluid and stuff. So maybe a wheel cylinder or something like that. But anyways, yeah. So I was out there, and it was like I don't know, like 15 or what's a net? It was like negative.
It was
It was
-5 one of the days.
Yeah, I was out there for 2.5 hours walking the trails and stuff. Walked off some trails and didn't find any tracks, but it was a good experience and stuff. It kind of reminded of me of us camping and stuff up north when it was actually -5 out and the wind chill was probably -10 at least, and that was fun camping.
You're fun. Yeah, super fun.
It was fun. It was fun. How's it going, Sandra and stuff, and everyone else that's out there watching? Hopefully everyone's doing good and stuff. I'm in a very cheerful mood and stuff. Having a lot of fun and stuff. But yeah, and stuff. So yeah, it was fun. Life and death situation in these temperatures. Let's make no joke about it, because we did have those two researchers that died not too long ago when it was
Have you ever heard anything out from that? Or
32. No, I've watched actually a couple different shows, and a couple different people said they would reach out, but we could always make a public FOIA request for the information. Although I did hear about an article where the bodies were found pretty close to each other, instead of uh, scattered about, or
Yeah, yeah.
a couple hundred trail type of a thing, like we explained in one of our last live shows that we did. So, but other than that, no, nothing. But we could do a public records request and stuff. You could phone in or email the county and do it that way,
Yeah, just
which is
I'd like more details on like, how far they were away from the car, stuff like that, and like, you know,
mhm, mhm.
just more information. Just it didn't make sense.
Yeah, and it's pretty much just type lipped. It's pretty much case open shut case of, oh, they weren't prepared and the weather and the elements got them, and then that's it. And Val probably would say that you know is what they would try to do to
Cover up.
keep a
Yeah.
tight lip about what I wouldn't want to say cover up, but I would say keep a tighter lip about potential stuff that's actually out there. Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out. I mean, with the Donald Trump coming into office and him signing executive orders, the JFK files are going to be dropping. Other
But the thing
stuff.
is,
I mean,
they're only going to show us. They're
UFO.
only show us what they want to show us. They're probably not going to show us everything.
Well, exactly, and stuff. It's always kind of like bread and circus. I'd like to say, and uh, because it is kind of like a dog and pony show. They only allow certain stuff to be revealed at a certain time when they're ready. It's like advanced technology and stuff. They drop the stealth bombers, and that's been stealth bombers and stealth fighters for the last 40 years. But we have way better stuff that they just haven't pulled the trigger on to let loose in the public because it's not the right time. And anytime everything's in the public, they have so much more in the background. But with the JFK files, it'll be pretty interesting to see what's there and when all that comes out. I know there's some stuff that's coming out with Martin Luther King and stuff, but I think we should wait till everything comes out before make some decisions and all that kind of some stuff. So we might have a show about some of that. I know
Yeah, I saw the B
my
system is going live tomorrow.
I, I was going to say the other show that I'm a part of co-hosting, the Beast System, was going to be on tomorrow, Rumble, and I'll try to put some links into the show. And you can find us on Facebook, the Beast System page, and also What the F WTF files on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify. Emily's all over the place and stuff. She does a really good, a lot better job than I do and stuff, spreading the word and doing all that. And she has amazing guests on her what the F files on Facebook and stuff. A lot of intriguing people. She had the America's Most Wanted guy. I can't remember his name. I just had it. America's Most Wanted. The host. She had his daughter on, exposing him, human trafficking, kidnapping, and stuff like that. So that's a very interesting show. She's had other awesome people and stuff, and she does that show every Friday. And I believe they just had our other co-host on talking about paranormal, odyssey, crazy stuff. I haven't watched the show, so I can't really talk about it and stuff. I know I've seen it and stuff, and I've been busy, but so yeah, it'll be fun. We'll be doing that tomorrow unless something comes up, but that is scheduled and out. You should get on that too, James. You're always welcome if you want to have a little fun. And
It's like right when I go to bed though, so that's the one problem.
it's only an hour. Emily's pretty strict on, usually an hour and stuff. Sometimes it might be a little over, but she like that hour format. So got a couple different stuff lined up. A lot of different stuff to read. A lot of potential reading is on the agenda and stuff. And as we're taking a look at, the Paul
Was his
Freeman tracks and
was his name
stuff.
Robert Stack?
No, no, it was. Let me look it up. Let's just take 5 seconds to Google it. John Walsh.
Never heard of him.
I knew it was John. John Walsh. I couldn't remember his last name. I knew it was John. I was like, John something. I will pull up a picture if you guys will want to. I'm sure a lot of the older folks and stuff, my age and up, would watch America's Most Wanted every week for a weekly show that was what's going on here.
I more watched
Okay.
What's it called? Bad Boys. Yeah.
Cops. Yeah. Cops was on and stuff, but then it was America's Most Wanted, and we would watch that for the top 10, like FBI's Most Wanted, on the loose in America and stuff. And John Walsh was the host, so a lot of people, watched that. I remember watching that, and we had one time we were at my grandma's and stuff, and she was living on railroad tracks and stuff, and there was this serial killer, who was traveling the tracks, and he would try your door, and if your door was unlocked, he would go in and, murder you. And he was running around and causing a lot of terror, and kind of scared a lot of homes and stuff. And I remember even my family at the time, we watched that episode because it was, brand new, and I even my dad and the neighbor even went, I guess, met up and checked the railroad tracks. The train broke down and stuff, making sure no one hopped off. Because this guy was actually could be anywhere type of thing, and so it was a very prominent show, probably a little bit before your time, but I remember watching it as a kid and stuff. So it was during the late '90s.
Yep.
No, it was good times and stuff. A lot more peaceful back then. Have you seen the new season 6, episode 1 of Bigfoot edition? Honestly, I have not seen past season 2.
I haven't watched any of it because I've heard how bad it is. So it's yeah. I mean, all Bigfoot shows have some fake shit in there, but Finding Bigfoot was always good. So
yeah, you got Finding Bigfoot's at a firm place in your heart and stuff. Like that's how you got inspired and stuff. As silly as the show would be, and it inspired a lot of people. Honestly, it was a great format at the time. I think. I know a lot of people make fun of it now, but it led the way for every other show. Yeah, I couldn't remember his last name, John Walsh's last name, so I was kind of feeling dumb for a second, like, man, because everyone knew it. But his daughter was on Emily's show, What the F Files, talking about the potential of that dude not being so square. So, yeah, they really painted it up to be scary and stuff. I know we used to watch that show for, regularly. I think I was kind of into it at the time, and yeah, for some reason that one really got to a lot of different families around America. A lot of different news stories on about it, so you could probably watch old news stories and stuff. As far as Bigfoot expedition and stuff, I haven't got past season 2 and stuff. Is really because season 1 was 100% hoaxed. I would say fabricated, manufactured entertainment, more so than maybe these other seasons and stuff. But the Bigfoot algorithm that their computer system, locates the most prime area in America to go search for that season 1. Well, they went to a dude ranch, right? So it was like it wasn't the algorithm. They went to a dude ranch, and when they discovered all the things in different episodes, like the little graves of the little children or whatever they said that the graves were, that was already known. The the mine or the cave where they sent the drone in and stuff, like they discovered it. I was already known about, you know, um, climbing up, descending on that cliff, all those trails and stuff. All that was already, public access. People can go and do that. You go pay and play kind of a thing. But they portrayed it as everything was like, mysterious and new discovery. And, so that unfortunately doesn't show good on their integrity. I know, like the female scientist, is obviously has background and stuff. And I'm sure some of these newer episodes are interesting, but when you got a crew of like 20 to 50 people out there and you got to make a show and everything gets cut and it's about, finding evidence or exaggerating the feeling of the adventure, you really hardly don't actually get the real stuff, and I know some of the testing DNA came back as like chimp or gorilla, or I think it was chimp or something. And they got some interesting thermal and shadow stuff, and they're doing another season and stuff, and I think they went to Michigan and stuff. They went up to UP and
Oh yeah.
probably I don't know, had some type of a thing, yeah. Where usually everyone goes to in the Discovery and Animal Planet for their Bigfoot documentaries. They go up to the Hiawatha National Forest, or I don't think it's a national forest, or maybe it's not Hiawatha. I'm thinking, but it's one of those up in the UP. Now it's the middle of the UP and stuff where they used to do the conference, just south of there type of area. It has Bigfoot activity and stuff, but that's typically where they seem to go. So yeah, that's a little bit about that. We're kind of getting sidetracked, so let's kind of get started and stuff. As we look into a little bit of some of the tracks.
Hiawatha, okay. Well, yeah, Hiawatha.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, right? Yeah, middle of the UP.
Yeah, I've gone there.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I don't think you went, or I don't even know if
I
at
haven't
that time.
been up there. No.
But the Bigfoot conference in 2019, 2020 was in Munising, and we camped like 20 minutes outside of that, and we had some good action going on. I have some like weird audio clips that I could never figure out if it was like wolf or coyote, but it sounded like really weird.
It might be interesting to pull them up and actually put them put them on the platform and stuff, let people listen to them and stuff,
Yeah, I don't have
getting some yeah, I know. But when they're growing dust and sitting still, they're not really doing anyone any good. Yeah. I have the same problem though. I got a bunch of stuff that I need to show, so I'm just talking shit. But yeah, that Hiawatha is a great place. All the UP is great. It's very wild, and there's a lot of missing people up there and stuff. So I would very caution anyone to be careful.
Yeah, I didn't know that at the time. So
yeah, and they're not doing that conference anymore. I couldn't remember what it was called.
Not. It was the UP Bigfoot conference or something.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it was. Yeah, I think that's what it was, and they end up slowing down and pretty much stopping when we kind of started. So, because I had planned, I was like, okay, well, they're going to do one next year, and they never did it, and I was like, okay, well, maybe next year, and because I wanted to go up there, meet up them, and go up to St. Ignace and go across the bridge right there. Beautiful tourist spot. If you guys never have been there, you guys have a little bit of money, want to take a road trip, hitting up Mackinac City, going to pass the bridge and stuff over to St. Ignace, and Sault Ste. Marie is not too far. But there's a lot of great views and little shops. Mackinac Island is amazing and world renowned for their fudge making, I would have to say. I'm not sure if they still have the haunted house there, but they used to have a haunted house there on the island. It was pretty sweet. Back when you were a kid, that's pretty fun stuff. All right. So we're going to look into the Mill Creek Road Bigfoot tracks and stuff, and we're going to be looking at some different stuff. Stuff that is in support, I guess, like Cliff Brackman and some of Jeff Meldrum's stuff. Although I'm gonna have to. Oh, did I not? Give me a second. So yeah, and there might be a part 4 coming up. But we'll have to see about that. You guys will find out as soon as I decide if everything happens the way it should, I guess. So that will be pretty exciting. And we got some more stuff. Taking a look at different stuff, and got some different shows planned, and maybe hopefully have some interesting guests to get on here.
So having fun there?
Yeah. Yeah, this one, I was going to start with this page, but it's not loading up right anymore for some reason. So we're going to go over here. Let me click this, and then we'll start sharing. Yeah, I'm trying to lean in and use my telepathic abilities to make my computer go faster and work right. That's why you see me okay, come on now. If
you maybe send me the link, I could probably it might work for me.
No, I just had to go.
Oh, you got it.
I got this one. I wasn't going to start with this, but we're going to take a look. But this is a pretty good, interesting place to start. And the reason why we're talking about these ones, so these are, there was a couple different tracks made before these that Paul Freeman casted, like his very first encounter, and some other ones, but I think the Wrinklefoot, I want to say, which we have that somewhere around here. Actually, we got we have a 1982 Knuckles by Paul Freeman, and then you have 1982 Dermal's Foot cast 1982, which I believe is his first encounter. A 1988 called The Rock cast by Paul Freeman, and we'll be taking a look at all these. Of course, this is the 1991 Mill Creek Road. You have the 1996 5 Points cast by Jeff Meldrum, although it was Paul Freeman who led Jeff Meldrum to that area, to that trackway. So those are what Cliff has, and I believe that's about it for Paul Freeman. So just a couple bit of tracks right there on Cliff's website. So as we take a look at these, January 1991, the Mill Creek Road, Washington, they were about 13.5 inches in length, 5 inches at width at the ball of the foot, which is right there. The heel, of course, is 3.5. The stride length was 42 inches to about 48 inches. So on January 1991, Paul Freeman and his wife were having coffee at a restaurant when they overheard a couple guys talking about some bear prints that they had seen on Mill Creek Road. Thinking that it was too early for bears, they went to be out of hibernation. Paul thought it'd be Bigfoot track, so he decided to investigate. Around noon, he called Van's Orchard, invited him along. He and West Sutherland met Paul at his house and to ride it. They met Paul at his house to ride to the location. Sorry, like a little butchering and stuff. I get all nervous when I got to read and got a bunch of reading to do. So, all right, met at Paul's house to ride to the location together. Wes was quick to point out that the unseasonably warm weather could have brought bears out of hibernation, but the prints were still worthy of checking out. Upon arrival, several footprints were quickly found on both sides of the road. The prints were estimated to be 3 to 4 days old. Vance snapped several black and white photographs of prints while Paul and Wes were examining individual tracks. One of these photographs is included in Vance's 2001 publication, The Walla Walla Bigfoot, on page 21. The creature path was traced for a good distance by the three men. It came out of the brush in the 5 Points area, the same general area where this individual prints would be later casted by Dr. Jeff Meldrum in 1996. All right, so it came out of the brush in the 5 Point area near Wheatfield off of 7 Mile Road, made its way down to Mill Creek through the grass and the brush and back up to the mountains via the Blue Creek. The total distance this animal traveled is approximately 2 miles. And here is the approximate route. Let me try to pull this up and maybe we can, nope, I can zoom in like that. Oh, it's not cooperating the way I want to. So, interesting though is this is obviously brand new Google Maps stuff, so air is much different than probably what it was back then. But traveling the creek systems and stuff, the way that I would probably say they would in Michigan, but 2 miles for a trackway, it's pretty interesting. We'll get more into that. So Wes, who tracked Bigfoot numerous times over the previous decades, recognized this footprint. He had named this individual Big Jim and was aware of several sightings of that individual in the immediate area where the tracks were found. As a side note, the author believes that this is a track of a female individual. I base this opinion on the size of the footprint and the fact that the size didn't change over the years it was found, indicating that the creature was full grown at the time it left with the prints and not a juvenile of the species. Yes, and Wes, I think I just seen an interview with him and stuff. He's kind of an interesting individual. I think more investigation needs to be done in him, in particular, maybe more so than Freeman actually and stuff. But so yeah, there's some people I know like Michael Freeman and Jeff Meldrum, and I believe Cliff think that this belongs to the female, and she left several tracks in different places over the years, and that's kind of one of the reasons why that's how they kind of like verify this track, and also Paul Freeman's encounters and stuff in the same general area based upon that. So. Retired Oregon Wildlife Department employee Jim Hawken, who is a Bigfooter in his own right, came out to examine the footprints. He spent a couple hours around Mill Creek, 7 Mile Bridge area, and decided that the prints were fake. He based this verdict on what he expected a Sasquatch to do, which is a tricky business, in my opinion. Sasquatches rarely conform to expectations. Mr. Hawken noted that when crossing over the wire fence, the Sasquatch placed its foot very closely to, if not underneath, the wire in the same place that I think I'm saying that wrong. Is Hardin? Is that what his name is? Harkin? Or is that a different guy? Stuff. Harding. I don't know. I got a couple of these different articles, which I think maybe is the same guy. Harding. It doesn't matter at this point. He noted that crossing over the fire, the Sasquatch placed his was very close, if not underneath the wire, in the same place that Mr. Harkins would have placed to cross the obstacle. I see no problem with this. While it's known that a large Sasquatch seems to be able to cross obstacles without breaking a stride, such as the cripplefoot creature crossing a 40-inch barbed wire fence. Most of these reports of a very large, probably male Sasquatch. The individual in this 1991 case is a smaller Sasquatch, as surmised from the notable smaller footprints, 13.5 inches versus the 17-inch cripplefoot. Mr. Harkin also thought that the path of the creature took along the road would not be the one a Sasquatch would take. He would expect a Sasquatch to cross the creek and enter the wood line. I guess he could be right, but I am aware of many reports when the Sasquatch is in the open along roads, when it could have been in a well hidden in the wood line. Much more of this do I have? Just a little bit more. Okay. To log down too much on this. The final assessments was that the prince was a hoax made by using casting attached to usable boots. And I believe that is what him and this other article is going to kind of talk about. At the odds with this opinion is that of Dr. Grover Krantz, quite contrary to Mr. Hawkins' Harding's hypothesis of the prosthetic attached to the boots being responsible for the prints. Dr. Krantz said the tracks showed characteristics of being made by a moving, flexible, living foot. There is a model view of the cast right there. All right, let me check comments for a second. I see we got a couple. Probably have to go over and kick. We got to kick out.
Oh.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that kind of looks like one, yeah.
Yeah. The problem with that is they got a lot of
or a bot. It's like a bot.
Bots, trolls, trying to get people too eager to jump on ship and give them money and try to hoax them and all that. So, a colleague of Mr. Dr. Krantz also visited the site. Dr. May, a wilderness survival instructor at the Washington State University, came to see the trackway on January 20th and again on February 1st. May noted that there was no interruption in the trackway over the 6 to 8 miles he followed from above Mill Creek. Along that distance, May found hair, scat, vegetation disturbance, and a variety of substrate and terrain through which the tracks traversed, bearing the development of some unknown prosthetic capable of displaying movement and flexibility. May stated that he was 90% certain that this site is valid and not fabricated. The other 10% was the margin of error in case they See, I can read and stuff. All of a sudden, I start blah, 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 and then I can't say it. Hypothetical, a theory unknown, prosthetic material. Oh God.
Hypothetical.
Yeah. had been used. See, the problem is I should probably read this stuff beforehand a couple times and maybe I'd get a little bit better,
it's
but
fine.
we don't do that here. This is spur of the moment productions and stuff, and we have a good time. So that's actually kind of interesting about the I don't know. I guess we're hearing about like hair being found in scat, like that's interesting. I don't. Yeah, interesting stuff. But also the 6 to 8 miles. It's a long. That's a long ways. Apparently, that's longer than the that was 2 miles or something that the original trackway or something said above in this article on the page. So I may have to reread that and look and figure out if they're talking about the exact same set trackway or apparently this person may followed something more. Who knows? Followed a bear, is what probably some of the skeptics would say. Maybe just followed a bear out there. Misidentified bear tracks. It should be noted that on May's second trip to the site, veteran Bigfoot researchers John Green and Bob Titmus was also at the site. Okay. It's also known that Green has a low opinion of the Freeman track evidence and that Bob Titmus also had his doubts. However, Titmus himself casted footprints out of the surrounding Blue Mountains and that seemed to hold up to scientific scrutiny. In regards to this track find, I could find no record of either man's opinion on the matter. I don't have anything pulled up. I can't remember if we showed on the first Paul Freeman. We played some videos with Renee DeHinden and some other people questioning Freeman and stuff, but I don't think we played anything with John Green or Bob Titmus giving their opinions. So that would be interesting if someone had it could be on Sasquatch Archives YouTube channel and stuff. I didn't go on there and look, so but if more comes to light, could be part 4, part 5, who knows. Very interesting subject. Paul Freeman's a very interesting person surrounded by a lot of controversy with the tracks and with the footage and everything else that happened. And it's one of those people. It's almost like why it's kind of so fascinating. At one point is because we have we didn't have Robert Patterson. We had Bob Giblin, but for a lot of years he was out of the limelight, inaccessible. And I guess when Freeman started to come about and stuff, he was this person who was accessible in a sort of way, especially when the second film came out that shows the potential baby and all that. And it was went newsworthy, very quickly and stuff. That was a person who filmed something, seen a Bigfoot, and was accessible more so than like a Bob Giblin. Of course, Robert Patterson was dead. So I think that's kind of why, again, it's so fascinating is, he was intrigued and full in depth into all that. And a lot of, in ways, bore a brunt of scrutiny and ridicule and him and his family, ridicule and being annoyed and bugged a bunch of times with not only people who in support, but also, being, you got to realize you go around town and you're the Bigfoot fool kind of a way, some people are going to think about that and make fun of you and joke around, and probably not the easiest and best things you as a kid, especially to grow up on and do, especially, at school and stuff, being the town local brand new news type of thing. So got a lot of controversy and stuff when it comes to that. I think that's why a lot of people find it fascinating and why we have all this is because he was so accessible and talked a lot, and answered a lot of questions. A lot of people, hold him by different answers and stuff, like the Good Morning America interview where he said he did make fake casts and stuff like that for testing that. And all you look up is, I think it's 1980 Morning America Paul Freeman Bigfoot video. And now we might play that actually too, because I believe it has Wes on that too. So we get a little bit of Wes talking. And he's kind of an interesting character by the sounds of it. I haven't heard too many other interviews, particularly with him. So I guess if anyone has stuff they could link me, that'd be awesome. Or I probably is on Sasquatch Archives, so we could look there. But and I only answer or bring that up is because maybe there's some other people around Freeman that was putting out fake stuff, and maybe Freeman wasn't faking his own, but finding different stuff, and it's not so clear cut. So I think taking a look at all the other individuals surrounding Paul Freeman in the field and finding, and who are doing their own research and stuff and finding their own stuff at the same time, I think it's a good idea to look into them too, as just as much as Paul Freeman. All right, so let's just kick a couple more paragraphs, and then we'll be done with this one. Hopefully it's tolerable. All right, so all right, and finally, one more Bigfooter that had the opportunity to lay his eyes on this track find was Phil Farms of Bozeman, Montana. Longtime soil conservation service employee and wildlife photographer, examined the footprints and came to a conclusion that they could not be replicated by hoaxing. He, like others before him, was most interested in the obvious flexibility of the foot that made the print. The step length of nearly 4 feet also impressed him greatly. To hold this cast in one hand is most interesting experience. The way that it's bent, twisted, is beyond the ability of a photograph to convey. Not only is this flexibility of the mid part of the foot at the mid-tarsal joint very pronounced, the toes are twisted off the axis of the football as well. Though not impressively large, the print stands out as an excellent example of Bigfoot footprint, and one that would be exceedingly difficult to fake. That is CliffBarackman.com, the official website of Cliff Barackman. It has a lot of cool, interesting stuff. So we're going to take a look at some of these other tracks. All right, so he is on board, same with Jeff Meldrum, as this is 100% real. There's almost no doubt based on stuff we just read. And this particular track that whether it's a Big Jim or it's a female, there's some speculation on how exactly they're, the reasoning why they think it's a female. Of course, Cliff hinted at it never grew in the years that they seem to have tracked it, meaning it's a full-grown adult, so it's most likely a female based upon men have bigger feet, females have smaller feet. Sasquatch males have bigger feet, Sasquatch females have smaller feet. Is the only basis that I believe qualifies them to think it is a female track. Unless I have somewhere else. We do have, hopefully if it's ready, maybe I can only do one at a time. Oh, maybe that's not going to work. All right, I guess we're not going to be able to look at Jeff Meldrum's book today. Legend Meets Science. I had that queued up. It was ready to go, but now it's unavailable. I guess on the next show it should be. So in there, I was going to talk about some of Paul Freeman's tracks and exactly why he thought it was legitimate. Oh, that kind of sucks. Maybe if we do that, we do this. Nope. All right, that's fine. It's always nice when things cooperate the way you want it to. All right, so go back over here, and this is the database contents for Cliff Brackman's website on footprints, I guess, in tracks and stuff. So we have different casts, different times, but we're mostly interested in the Paul Freeman stuff. So we're going to take a look right here at the knuckles that he found in 1982, the dermals in 1982, some of these other ones. Before we do that, we're probably going to read this other article, Evidence for Bigfoot Investigation of the Mill Creek Sasquatch. This is Michael R. Dennett. I call these footprints with dermal ridges are authentic, but evidence to the contrary is abundant and mounting. How about you give this one a read? I'll send you the link. You read it. I'm just putting you on the spot. I'm just putting you on the spot to see how you react. If you want to, you are more than welcome to give it a shot.
I think you could do it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna have to do it. I don't think I got a choice, right? Unless someone wants to come on, right? You know, maybe.
I think I'm breaking up.
Yeah, break it up. You know, someone else might come on and might have a lovely voice, a good reading voice. Might put me to bed or something. Pass out. You know, a lot of this is, the little kids would say, man, this is fucking boring. But, this is all interesting stuff in a sort of way because, you got to learn about it some way. And you don't learn about all this information usually by watching one YouTube video, although we're trying to put all this information into some YouTube video. You still got to read, right? Someone's reading. Someone has to do this work. And it's sort of the same stuff we're facing now is, when people get real stuff and there's some honky stuff and there's their fake stuff. I think we're dealing with it more than any time else. And back then, at least you had people that investigated the stuff. You had several people that went out and investigated the tracks and the trackway. Now it's like, people pop off and there's really no one, especially no rangers and no government people like back then that went and investigated and put articles out, talking about it and stuff. But we have that in this incident and with different Paul Freeman tracks. So it's kind of interesting, and that's why I think it's fascinating because we don't get that anymore. You don't have all this different stuff, You can get a trackway and cast it and then send it to Jeff Meldrum and get his opinion after a while, but, you're not having the same response, news media flying out, doing a news story a couple of days after finding the filming the Bigfoot second footage and having all those trackway casted and stuff. Now, anyone can just pretend Bigfoot's walking through the snow and then, I guess so. I mean, you got to take his word for it. So that's why it's fascinating because we can examine other people that disagree, but we're actually on scene and stuff like that. So the legend of Sasquatch. Wait, is this the right one? Yeah. The giant humanoid monster alleged to inhabit the Pacific Northwest has taken an important new turn. A seemingly growing number of scientists, and for the first time, a respected magazine, are now accepting as valid evidence that indicates the creature exists. Newsweek, September 21st, 1987. Ran a dramatic article in its science section about startling new proof of Bigfoot. The evidence reported Newsweek consisted of 4 sets of footprints that showed dermal ridges, the foot's equivalent of fingerprints. 40 fingerprint experts agreed that they were authentic, the article said. The magazine quoted a skeptical anthropologist. I'm going to butcher that again.
Anthropologist.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Thank you. Teamwork. Impossible to fake prints with dermal ridges. Plaster casts of the giant footprints, some 15 inches in length, have been collected by Grover Krantz, an anthropologist. Give it away, James. Anthropologist. Anthropologist. I get Mr. Grover Krantz at the Washington State University.
Anthropologist.
We're just gonna let that sip shell with this one. I'm not apparently I'm not gonna be able to say that one. And that's a habit and stuff, I kind of get anxious about reading and stuff, so I might get doing just fine, and then if I trip up on a word, all of a sudden it's like I can't say that word all of a sudden, and that's what I'm having that problem. So sometimes you'll be like, oh, okay, sounds coherent, and then it's like, oh shit, man. But we gotta have a good time. Gotta have a good time with it. That's all the show's gonna be about and stuff. Having good times and having fun. All right. Krantz, a longtime advocate of the existence of Bigfoot, claims that the casts show detailed microscopic anatomy of shows detailed microscopic anatomy absolutely. Sorry, when I read that, my brain wasn't putting it together properly. The cast, first reported by Krantz in 1982, are indeed impressive. Robert Meyer of Indiana University, who originally declined to even look at the impressions, revised his opinion after reviewing them at the dermatologists. Glyphics.
I have no idea what that is. Convention.
I am gonna guess it's it's about dermal ridges and the patterns that they display. Convention. Based off my fucking dumbass knowledge of that word. But you break a word down into its different parts, you kind of get basic lingo of what's going on. So it's about dermal ridges and the microscopic anatomy of how it is absolutely perfect. So when Grover Krantz is looking at the track and he's looking at the microscopic dermal ridges and stuff, and how the anatomy is displayed, that this is a natural animal and this is not something that is a fake hoax or a wood outline of a track pushed into the ground, but this is living, breathing flesh, in his opinion. All right. All right. Kind of lost my place a little bit. In the recent paper, Professor Meyer wrote, Krantz should be commended for his thorough and dedicated investigation into the Sasquatch matter, and generally he has offered cautious, I don't know why I'm butchering this one so bad. Interpretations of the God, man, that fucking sucks. Evidence. Benny Kling, a dermatology specialist, affirms Kranz's interpretations. Oh my fucking God! See, I'm getting so nervous here reading this and stuff. Interpretations of the cast. After examining the two sets of casts, Kling concluded the parts of the foot which should be worn smooth of dermal ridges are so worn on both individuals, indicating both individuals have walked barefoot for a long time. Such highly specialized knowledge of primate dermal wear patterns would probably not be known to a probable potential hoaxer. Kling also noted a pattern of dermal ridge failure, a not uncommon human primate feature, stating that they occur in correct places, an almost impossible fact for even a sophisticated hoaxer to predict. Many skeptical individuals included ABC Good Morning America's reporter Steve Fox and Los Angeles researcher David Frank also were impressed by the apparent authenticity of the cast. Even this writer has surprised at the details shown in the plaster reproductions of impressions. It is clear that support is mounting for Kranz in his interpretation of the footprints. Graf Geoffrey Gamble, chairman of the anthropology department of Washington State University, and Kranz's boss, says he tends to believe in Bigfoot's existence, but is not convinced. Damn, there's a lot of reading, and we still have a lot to fucking do. Yeah. But, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, you guys could go read for yourselves, I guess, and have your own issues.
We're almost there.
Or you could just, hear me read it. So it's going to get into a little bit of, the contrary and stuff. I think it's just giving a little bit of the tracks and stuff. Sorry. Has been okay. So, anthropologist Riddick Sprague of the University of Idaho has even more been outspoken in his support of Krantz, saying critics are anti-intellectual as the Spanish Inquisition. That's pretty. And according to France surveys, have shown that as many as 15% of his peers believe in the animal is likely to exist. I wonder what that percentage is now across the board, especially after decades of, mediocre evidence compared to actual footage like Freeman. Central to the stories are the first two sets of Sasquatch tracks found to show dermal ridges and valleys. The tracks were discovered in June of 1982 in an area known as Mill Creek watershed in Oregon's Blue Mountains. These tracks claim Kranz are proof positive the creature of legend is an animal. In Washington State University professor is gaining support among the fellow scientists and a few journalists. Many others remain unimpressed. When I talked with veteran Sasquatch researcher Renee DeHinden, he told me the Mills Creek, I should have an accent for this. The Mills Creek tracks are 100% fakes. Absolutely fakes. DeHinden, who has spent 30 years searching for Bigfoot, said he has questioned many experienced hunters in the area where the tracks were found, and none of these hunters had ever seen anything to suggest that the group of giants prey might live there. Look, Dehinden explained, remember the Hitler diaries of a few years ago? Several experts said that the handwriting was just right, that all the dates and events were historically correct, and therefore they had to be authentic. But it turns out that the ink used was not invented until 1954, so the diaries were a fake. So who cares about the handwriting? It applies to the Freeman tracks, the Mill Creek tracks. They are fake. So who gives a damn about Krantz and his dermatologists? I wish Krantz was alive today to just talk smack on all the crap that he sees that's going on, because it'd be kind of a sight to see. Oh man. Nor is Dehinden alone among Sasquatch enthusiasts in looking skeptically at the tracks. It was clear from the beginning of my research on the case that Krantz and the Newsweek magazine gave only parts of the story. Doubt about the authenticity of the tracks is based in part on investigation conducted by the U.S. Forest Service, surprised by the discovery of alleged Sasquatch tracks in land administered by the Forest Service. Roger E. Baker, a regional administrator, sent wildlife biologist J. Johnson to investigate. Johnson visited the Mill Creek site the day following the discovery of the tracks. Johnson's report and conclusions indicate that the tracks were hoaxed. In one area, according to Johnson, it appeared that the fine forest litter, etc., had been brushed aside prior to making the tracks. It was obvious that the litter had also been placed sideways from the track area in an unusual manner. In addition, Johnson reported in several cases it appeared that the foot may have rocked from side to side, rocking side to side to make the track. More damaging were Johnson's technical observations. He found that the stride of the track did not change with slope, that there was no sign of heel or toe slippage on the steep guard, and that the toes on some of the tracks appeared wider from print to print. Let me pull up these tracks, because this is what we're talking about right here. That way you guys can look at that and stuff while I'm talking about the tracks also. All right. So independent, they were kind of placed side to side in a matter of which a hoaxer would have done instead of a natural. Again, these are the same tracks that we just read. Cliff Brackman says is a living, flexible foot. They tracked miles of trackway, and scat and other stuff was found too. So. No signs of slippage. Toes on some tracks appeared wider from print to print. The Forest Service biologist is also at odds with the assessment of Kling's. The dermatological specialist Krantz favors. Johnson found that the small toes lacked a definite pad at the tips, as one would expect. In direct contradiction to Kling. Johnson reported the markings were very clear on the portions of the foot that should be worn and smooth and calloused. Johnson was able to view the actual tracks that it was mentioned in Johnson's report. The tracks at both sites were not to the bottom of the mud. In fact, they were sinking in deeper with boots on at the same location. Some key points and stuff right there. Of why it's not potentially real in this Forest Service biologist's opinion. But we get into the bottom of was this government official being legit, or was this government official trying to cover up? And I know that's kind of like the conspiracy side of things, but the government doesn't like Bigfoot to be public. I think we've had that made clear here on several different programs and shows with different people on that. Like the last show we did with the data miner Val. Government and Bigfoot and mystery and murder and missing people and all sorts of things seem to be in hand. So just kind of putting out there that maybe, government always has their hands in things and they don't want the public to know. What do? Suppress, censor, or make fun of? All right, so so the tracks at both sites were to the bottom of the mud. The fact we were sinking deeper with boots on at the same location than what the tracks were in the mud found. Also, was the Bigfoot not as heavy and stuff? A 13.5-inch track female, she's 6'5", not 7 foot, How much is she gonna weigh? She'd be about as heavy as an adult male. I would say probably heavier, based upon Sasquatches should be of denser muscle and of generally bigger stature. So, and everything about them is not necessarily the same as humans. So just because they might be a 6'5" height range with a 13.5-inch foot doesn't mean that they weigh less than 250 pounds. They could probably be more than that or weigh twice as that, but still be in the same framework of a human and stuff. That's why I think a lot of people have some issues where we think, well, there are humans who are like 6'8", 260 pounds, and a 6'8", 350 pounds or a 450 pound or 500-pound animal doesn't relate and stuff, and they have different muscle structures and densities of bones and muscles and fibers, completely different genetically make up, which means that there's a lot of stuff that can be different. All right, so let's finish up this article, and we can kind of be done with this one, and maybe we'll take a look at some of these other tracks and stuff, and get to it and stuff. I know this one is might be a little bit more boring than the other ones and stuff, because this is more reading and not videos. But pay attention, class. We're actually trying to learn some information and stuff and get to both sides of it. And I would have to say, I think if we're going to be doing another show on this, I'll probably be listening to you guys. So you'll definitely have to stick tuned to that. Hopefully. All right, so okay, Harding. Okay, so I was mistaken. The problem was when I was reading earlier. We'll get to this in a second. In addition to Johnson's expertise as a wildlife biologist, the Forest Service requested and received the assistance of Joel Harding. I was having a mix-up of Joel Harding and this other dude I was butchering his last name. I was, for some reason, my brain was trying to think they were the same name, same dude. So I was having some issues trying to pronounce Joel Harding and the other dude. Patrol officer to help investigate the prince. Harding is reputed to be one of the best trackers in the border patrol. He has often been called to find a fugitive or lost hikers by following the human sign, as slight as a rolled rocks, bent grass, scrape, and scruff marks. Harding has often succeeded when searchers with tracking dogs have failed, which is pretty interesting. In fact, Harding has never lost on a trail when following an escaped prisoner or fugitive. So Harding has never lost a trail when following an escaped prisoner or fugitive. He was flown to the Mill Creek watershed to accompany Johnson. The area around Mill Creek is closed to the general area because it is the source of drinking water to several area towns. That's great. That's a good thing. Also, great place for Sasquatch to hang out. Also, being the source of fresh drinking water of several area towns, meaning there could be some karst systems down in there, meaning caves and deep underground water sources and aquifers and fresh water systems that create caves through runoff of those mountains. So that might be pretty interesting. Harding said that he found conditions for the observation and readability of human sign to be excellent. After complete search of the area, Harding could not find any continually to tracks beyond the range. Sorry, I gotta scroll down for a second. Of the distance impressions, he stated that the tracks appeared and disappeared on the trail with no signs leading to or away from the area. That a giant creature could suddenly stop leaving a trail after making huge dents in the earth seemed impossible to the Border Patrol. Harding's conclusion: hoax. An important part of the evidence for the authenticity of the footprints is an alleged eyewitness account of Sasquatch activity just before the discovery of the tracks. Paul Freeman, at the time a new Forest Service patrolman, claims he observed a Sasquatch in the watershed that could only be the legendary Sasquatch. The next week, Freeman discovered the now famous tracks with the dermal ridges. Freeman claims to have encountered other evidence of the creature since then. He says he has found Sasquatch handprints, which is the handprint cast of the creature since then. He also found Sasquatch dung, at least 2 samples of Sasquatch hair, which he said he sent in, which we watched the interview. He sent it into some DNA center and stuff, but it didn't come back as anything. It didn't come. It did. I think he said it basically didn't have any DNA to basically come out as anything. In 1986, after Freeman learned that it was believed that Sasquatches break and twist the tops of small fir trees, he began finding evidence of this too. He has tape recorded the speech of Bigfoot, photographs the creature, and encountered it face to face a second time in October of 1988. During the second sighting, he unsuccessfully tried to film the Bigfoot. That was when, with his oldest son, Dwayne, is when they actually captured the photographs of a Bigfoot, which we showed on the last live stream, number 2. When Paul says he tried to. So the story is Dwayne seen the Sasquatch, took some photographs of it, ran to his dad. It was like 200 yards away. And then Paul seen it and tried to get his filming camera to work. And unfortunately, the mechanism malfunctioned. the film came off and it wasn't mechanically spinning right, and wasn't able to film it. So Bob Titmus, who had recently been made an honorary member of the International Society of Cryptozoology for his nearly half a century of field research on Bigfoot, told me he did not find Freeman to be a credible witness. Titmus explained on one occasion, while in the field, he told Freeman that he thought there might be a Sasquatch in the area. Freeman hopped into his truck and within 20 minutes returned to say that he had located some Sasquatch prints. The tracks showed dimeral ridges, Titmus told me, but when he looked for signs beyond the few tracks Freeman had located, he found no evidence of activity, even though the terrain favored tracking. Titmus concluded that the tracks were probably a hoax. You know, yeah, I mean, what did you do? Run down the road, look down the road and stuff? I mean, all right, so other Bigfoot enthusiasts are also skeptical of Freeman's testimony. They cite Freeman's exceptional success at finding Sasquatch footprints as unlikely as it could be. In addition, some are uncomfortable with the fact that Freeman has a history of attempting to fake tracks. Incredible as it may seem, the key witness for the Mill Creek tracks are admitted to faking footprints of Sasquatch. When I talked with Freeman in the fall of 1987, he also told me that he intended to open and operate a Bigfoot museum. At that time, he had various Sasquatch memorabilia for sale, including a small busts of the creature. Not sure what they're referring to, busts. When I asked Krantz about Freeman's faking prints, he told me that he had no indication that Freeman was involved in any new attempts to hoax Bigfoot. Yet, I believe Krantz has substantial evidence of exactly that. Freeman has found at least 2 sets of Sasquatch hair. A longtime Sasquatch journalist and supporter of Krantz admitted to me that a laboratory analysis of a set of hair samples that I believe Krantz obtained from Freeman proved conclusively that the hair was in fact a man-made substance. I wonder if that is what Paul Freeman is trying to allude to when it was finally tested, and it was he kind of blumbers and stuff and struggles to say that it was basically untestable, recognizable kind of a thing. So I wonder if that is what this is. Interesting stuff. So again, Krantz always went down to thinking that Freeman is true. Jeff Meldrum and Cliff Brackman still believe that these tracks are fake. These guys think that it's not real. And then you have the people who walked miles and found the track, found Scat and Skung by Mr. May, whereas Joe Harding didn't track the tracks past where they were found. So someone's lying, someone's making up shit, someone's not an expert in this, someone's if you're following tracks for a couple miles, or you're following tracks and you're a couple hundred yards that way, doesn't sound like that's what Mr. Joe Harding did. I wasn't able to successfully find, whereas these other people were. So that is kind of this, this odd thing out, which, it's like, okay, interesting. All right, so I'm just scanning this rest of this article because that's mainly what I wanted to read was Joel Harding and the Border Patrol people, Rangers going out there. Let's see. All right, so this is going to talk about the 40 fingerprint experts. All right, so the hair was in fact a man-made substance. When I pressed Krantz about this, he dismissed the issue because other experts had identified the hair as very strange or from an unknown animal. Another Bigfoot advocate explained to me that Krantz will peddle hair samples until someone tells him what he wants to hear. Crucial to Krantz's case is that apparent commitment of the 40 fingerprint experts to the authenticity of the footprints. Yet when I asked him for the names of several of the best fingerprint experts in the country and some of them abroad, he declined to provide any information. Instead, he insisted that there was nothing I could do to shed an additional light on his already thorough study of the tracks and vigorously tried to get me to drop that line of investigation. With difficulty, I tracked down some of the fingerprint specialists who had examined the Mill Creek tracks. George Bonebrake, a former supervisor of the FBI's latent fingerprint section, said there appeared to be dermal ridges at various places on the tracks of the footprints, but not enough to give an overall appearance or to base an opinion. Robert Olson, a latent fingerprint expert, said he could not detect whether the Milk Creek tracks, were faked. More importantly, did Krantz ever ask the correct questions of these fingerprint experts? Yeah, so, we don't get that anymore. We don't get insights by former FBI agents or all this on anyone's tracks found. I mean, when's the last time all this happened to someone? I mean, we got a couple people in the community with audio, but we don't got, besides Jeff and Cliff, we don't got any former government expertise people in any of these fields that even care to take a look at anything anymore. And when is the last good set of tracks been casted found? I mean, was there any really good tracks found in 2024? They want to have really, I mean, good tracks, like kind of like what we're seeing on the Mill Creeks, where you can see the toes, and better than the tracks I got, I would have to say. I mean, the one track I got doesn't show toes like this, and the one track that we got in Florida, the 168, has 3 toes, and it looks good, but I'm always out there looking, and all the tracks that we've seen and thought were interesting. They don't ever look perfect like this or some of these other perfect Bigfoot tracks like the Patty. Patty has a very perfect trackway. We don't typically find that kind of stuff. We find almost like half tracks where they're like walking on their palms and on all fours and sort of thing. You get that mid-tarsal break feature coming up and you don't get the heel because the heel is up off the ground, possibly, when they're on all fours, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, I think. All right, so then I asked Dr. Kumazachi I asked Dr. Kumazachi, I'm just going to butcher that, of Kyoto University, Japan, and Dr. Wild of the Laboratory of Anatomy and Embryology of the Netherlands, both experts in dermoglyphics. If they could distinguish the Sasquatch print from that of a large human, both responded that it was most unlikely. When asked, do you feel that footprints that show dermal ridges in a few spots on the foot would be very difficult to fake? They both answered no. To my surprise, D. Wild informed me that he has studied the footprints intensely, and that his comments were probably the first received by Krantz. I did not see any principal difference between the prints of the ridge patterns and of the complete patterns of men with large feet. Significantly, Wild concluded, if circumstantial evidence of findings is reliable enough, emphasis added, on the dermoglyphics, there are not enough of Krantz's conclusions about the existence of Sasquatch men. So he thinks it's shit. Of course, Sasquatch already gives the name of Gigantopithecus blacki. It says that there's no plausible scenario. All right, so those are a couple of the experts that disagree, finding that there's no difference between the dermal ridges found on part of the Mills Creek, which you see right there, and of a normal person who tried to put some dermal ridges using his foot on the footprint. So that's where you get these are fake from those kind of experts, which, it's very interesting with Joe Harding and stuff going out there and tracking and saying that he didn't find the tracks further than what was found at the basic site. And I'm going to re-scan that real quick to confirm. Joe Harding stated his distinct impressions. The tracks appeared and disappeared on the trail with no signs leading to or away from the area. But we read here, right here, the creature's path was traced for a good distance by the three men, as shown in the diagram below. It came out to the brush in the 5-point area, the same general area where the individual sprint later casted. It was near Wheelfield and several miles to the Mill Creek, blah, blah, blah. The total distance this animal traveled is approximately 2 miles. Yeah, Jim Harkin. I was thinking Jim Harkin. This dude, I was thinking Jim Hukin was Joel Hardin for some reason. That's why I was butchering it. That all messed up when I was reading this article. But when it comes down to Mace, Grover Krantz's colleague, Greg May, a wilderness survival instructor, May noted that there was no interruption in the trackway over the 6 to 8 miles he followed them above Mills Creek. Along that distance, he found hair, scat, vegetation. So Joe Hardin can't, one of these people are wrong. One of these people is lying, or one of these people don't know what they're doing. Because we have two completely different scenarios going on where you have the Border Patrol tracker expert indicating that he can't find stuff past a certain point, and then we have tracking them miles. So what's going on? I don't think that really answers any questions. If anything, I think it just raises more questions because obviously someone's not right, and that's why I think it's kind of fascinating and to give both sides. And so, you have Jeff Meldrum, you have Cliff saying, oh, no, these tracks are real because of, the dermal ridges, and they look like they're worn feet that live in the wild. And then you have these dudes say, no, they look like dermal ridges like a person would have on a very small spot instead of everywhere. And then the one guy saying that it doesn't look like it's a foot that's been out in the wild because it doesn't have calluses. So it's, you know, it's one of those things that's in this enduring mystery. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so Joe Harden states that the tracks appeared and disappeared on the trail with no sign leading to or from that area. Huh. And yet the colleague, Mr. May, noted that there was no interruption in the trackway over the 6 to 8 miles. So who's right? You know, I mean, is this a government cover-up? You know, just sell, yeah, you know, the Border Patrol expert, right? The expert tracker says there's no fucking tracks going this way. But this colleague of Dr. Krantz, Greg May, the wilderness survival expert, says there was no interruption in the tracks. And of course, there's no camera footage of uninterrupted trackway. On either side, there's no documents of, you know, photographs, bam, of everything nonstop until they just stop. So what is going on? I know it's pretty interesting. Hopefully, this next installment, we'll see. We can ask some of these hard-hitting questions and get some different answers through that. So that, you know, that's why I brought that article up. I know it was kind of long, and I was like, oh, damn, dude, my ears are bleeding. But, you know, I thought it was interesting because they had two completely different, 100% different spectrums of contradictions of what supposedly is found on this track site, you know, from the skeptical government, Border Patrol, and the Forest Service Ranger, and some of the dermal ridge experts, and what the proponents like Cliff Brackman, Jeff Meldrum, and Mr. May are telling their side of the story. So, you know, to me, you know, when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, this is even more interesting than I thought, because I didn't realize that there was hair and scat and all that found. Of course, the Border Patrol agent and them, they never talk about any of that either. So why is that? They talk about hair that was found, but was that the same hair that was found by Mr. May? Or was that different Freeman hair? Of course, Grover Krantz had different hair going around and provided by different people around the country too. So that's kind of why I brought that article up and wanted to show this portion too. And we can go through some of these other stuff with the different casts by Mr. Freeman and stuff. And we got a couple different articles. We got one more article. And then we could take a look at the Freeman book if we wanted to. And also like Grover Krantz's book. He has a little chapter in there, but for some reason so I was looking at Grover Krantz's book, Bigfoot Prints, A Scientific Inquiry into the Reality of Sasquatch by Grover Krantz. And I was looking at on the Internet Archive, and I was also looking up on Jeff Meldrum's book on the Internet Archive, and I was able to look at both of them. But as soon as the show started, for some reason they I refreshed everything, and I was not able to like basically borrow the book. You like kind of borrow it out and look at it, return it, and so that kind of sucks. But because I wanted to look at the Jeff Meldrum's book a little bit more, because there's quite a bit on it, on the Mill Creek tracks and the 5 Point tracks that Jeff finds. So yeah, that kind of sucks. That kind of, you know, derails a little bit of some other stuff. that I wanted to bore you guys with. Reading. Man, it's so boring. It's boring to read. It's not really boring to read, actually. It's very good. It's really good for your brain, and I probably needed to do a lot more of it, practice a little bit, so I don't get so bumbled up and jumbled on some of these words like I have been. But so what's your opinion on some of this stuff? What do you think about these tracks and some of the stuff we talked about, and being dermal ridges? I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit.
It's interesting, but it kind of lost me a bit through there.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I may have snoozed a bit.
You know what's funny is I actually thought you might have almost passed out a little bit.
Yeah, I did.
I heard your breathing change, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just like, fuck, man. I know I'm boring, but like, shit, dude. I love it. I love it. I love having this fun. It's all about having a good time and stuff, honestly. I'd be doing this if there was no one in chat, by myself, having fun, because I do truly believe this is very good information, and that you can't. I mean, if I can't really find it out there, and it's very old and all this, I mean, someone got to do it, and if I do it, there's someone probably will come along, let's do it a little bit better than me. Hopefully I inspire them to do a little of that, and that is totally wonderful. Fine, as long as we get the information out and get some brainstorming, get some discussion and stuff rolling around, instead of some stagnatic, muddy waters and stuff where there's no communication and flow, output, destination, right? You're just stagnated in this water, but we need a flow and a destination that we can kind of get to, and so hopefully we're gonna have a better show and stuff, and we're gonna hopefully get Michael Freeman on himself, and get him on, and we'll be asking some hard-hitting questions, actually. So that's kind of what the surprise next show would be about, is having him on, and hopefully we'll get a date set up for February or something like that. So we'll have to see, but it might work out. So that way we'll be able to interview Michael, get his get a little backstory on some of the events and stuff, and then go into some of these hard-hitting questions about the article we literally just read, because that is the most main stuff coming from the Mill Creeks. Getting into like the Cripplefoot stuff, which is another big Jeff Meldrum's big thing, is the Cripplefoot cast, or Wrinklefoot cast. Sorry, not the Cripplefoot, Wrinklefoot with Freeman, and I think it's the Wrinklefoot. Sorry, there's the Cripplefoot, there's the Wrinklefoot with Freeman. So hopefully we get Michael on, talk all about that. Then we'll ask the hard-hitting questions. Maybe even have Brent in the chat at least. I don't know if maybe get him on and stuff. Give it as long as it's not too fiery and stuff. But actually have some of these hard-hitting questions be asked with Michael and talked about and explained, and we have a good discussion and try to get to the bottom of the truth and figure out, it doesn't have to be perfectly strained, but, at least we can actually have some sort of dialogue with someone who is close to the information as possible. Now has a lot of this evidence, has these home videos and personal recordings and knowledge and basic knowledge of stuff, of things that we want to ask. And so I think that's kind of why this next episode of part 4 will be part 4 with Michael Freeman. So we'll see how that goes. Set up a date and we'll get it ready. That's all I can say. He's not against it, so just have to figure out and see. So hopefully that will be set up and scheduled and stuff, and we'll get that going here probably in a couple weeks or so. Who knows? And that'll probably be the end of it. Part 4 would probably be that it, especially with Michael. Get all the questions, hard hitting stuff you want to get out of your system, guys. So I will probably promote the crap out of that as soon as I'm able to. So everyone knows beforehand that you are get your notes ready, because you know, if you got questions and stuff, let's try to get them out. Because I don't think on any of these other shows, you know, that potential of these harder hitting questions, or like Brent coming in into chat and kind of hammering away at like this, and this, and this, compared to these other shows where you've had Michael being interviewed in the standard kind of back and forth thing, not a little bit pushback of going into why people think these Mill Creek's tracks are fake, why some of these other tracks are fake. I think potential of someone hoaxing his father type of thing. I'm going to really get into that, because I believe I listened to an interview where he said that he had found hoax tracks. Someone had hoaxed and someone was out there hoaxing and stuff. So I'll get a little bit about him into that. I also want to look into Wes. He might be a little interesting character that you know, maybe is. From what I've seen, I heard his interview on. He did an interview, I think, with Good Morning America 2, and he kind of seems like a little sly fish in a way. Like he might spin a yarn or web and try to feed it to you, kind of a guy. But I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't seen enough of him. Of course, you can't be around him or anything. He's not here anymore. But so you know, I have some questions about that kind of character's integrity, of Weston's integrity, of what's his evidence and stuff that he found of Big Jim, of this same. He thinks this is Big Jim instead of a female, and that kind of what his evidence. What did he find? What was his areas that he looked and stuff? And you know, because I know a lot of the time Freeman was like, I got to go get West. I got to get West. So you know, a lot of people think, you know, Paul Freeman was hoaxing and was a faker, and you know, I'm kind of looking at West thinking, well, maybe this dude was faking and faking Freeman, putting tracks out there for Freeman to find, sort of thing. You know, I'm kind of leaning and find myself going in that direction a little bit. So I do a little bit of investigation on that, but we got to dig a lot of old threads and maybe some stuff on the Sasquatch archives, but I'm not quite sure. Not really quite sure to look about West and all that. I don't know his backstory and all that as much as probably some of these other people know. Some of these other historical Sasquatch researchers and all that. So, but I got to reach out to some interesting people, some new people, channels, and ideas that I think are really interesting. I hopefully have this new guest on sometime. I got to reach out, of course, and talk and figure out. But I see this person, see this information and what they're doing, and just research. And I think, man, I got to tip my hat to it and give it a little bit of a spotlight. And then hopefully we'll get a bunch of people helping and promoting and stuff. So let me take some time on probably the next show, give or take, and spotlight some of that. And maybe I have some new faces on here, some new guests and all that. Who knows? It's a brand new year, brand new feel, and a lot of exciting things. So yeah, that was basically the Mills track, and I know we got like right here the 1982 Knuckles. One of the first prints in my collection, the Knuckles prints, remains one of my favorites. This is Cliff Brackman talking. Not only is this is it a novel in that it's a handprint of a shows some very interesting anatomical features. The thumb seems excessively thick. It is likely due to a combination of factors. First of all, the fat pad on the polymer. Uh, surface of the thumb seems to be very thick, making impression 1.7 inches thick. It is also possible that the thumb shifted positions as it's impressed into the ground, thus making it seem thicker than it really is. So you got the thumb with the knuckles and stuff. It's pretty interesting. If it's legit, of course. And you can, pretty sure, buy all these recasted and stuff. You can buy clones of these. Just going to cost you, I think, like $20 to $50, depending on what you do, what you get. Cliff does this, and also Jeff Meldrum does this. And I think there's a couple other people too, where you can pay, and they will send you a cast of like Patterson, which is very famous. A couple of these, like the Mills Creek and stuff from Mr. Freeman. And I think from Tom, and I just forgot his last name, Tom Titmus, Bob Titmus. Sorry, Bob, Tom. I'm thinking of Tom Biscardi, I guess. There's too many names in the Sasquatch field and history. So the thumb is a clear impression of a thumbnail. The positioning of the thumbnail gives some insight into the thumb of the Sasquatch. It seems that the thumb is rotated outward towards the other fingers. This makes the thumb close inwards towards the palm, like the other digits. This has been noted in eyewitness accounts. The thumbs are described as curling around objects in the same direction as other fingers. I mean, like their thumbs are kind of like twisted, not like ours. Ours fold in. They just kind of like cup around, kind of do like that thing. So they're elongated and fold over. So they don't do that like this. I wonder when they make a fist, where does this thumb placement go? Does it tuck under like us? Roll up under? Wonder how they throw a punch. They're gonna break their thumb, throw a punch like that. They probably slap you and grab you. Sasquatch is, it's kind of funny. Is great apes don't really punch. They kind of smack you and grab you, and great apes will kind of like hammer fist down on you, but they don't really punch you. They don't punch and stuff. So Sasquatch probably didn't punch. They probably grab you. Most of the time, grab you and snap you. That'd be about it. That's all it takes. It is the opposable ability of the human thumb that gives us the ability to grip small objects and do an amazing array of other things with our hands. Certainly, the Sasquatch can do many amazing things with their hands as well, but probably not the same things as we can. Exactly. The hand is inferred to squat and stout. The metacarpal bones found in the palm are inhumanly short. These are segments of the fingers. The other hand prints correspond nicely to this unique impression. So here we have human, gorilla, and Sasquatch hands. This is based on the artist of Sue Lindley's recreation. We designed prints as those in Figure 4. Yeah. I don't know. I've never seen. I mean, we have a print that's like, I think it's a hand that's like this, but it's not wide like this big hand. I don't like the way that hand looks, honestly. Looks. Yeah, I don't know. From the tracks and stuff, I find their knuckles and their fingers get really down, almost flat with their palms, like the calluses and stuff like this almost match that. And unfortunately, we just don't know because we don't have a hand of a Sasquatch cut off to look or actual viable print besides the very few that we have. So that's kind of about it. About 2 hours and stuff. I didn't really want to go over more. There's a couple more articles we could read, but unfortunately, they're not working for some reason. The way back, the Internet Archive's not working, so that's kind of sucky.
Guess you gotta have a part 4 now.
Huh?
You gotta have a part 4 so when they work again.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, part 4 is going to be with Michael Freeman, a live interview where,
who's that?
Oh, for everyone else who knows, Mr. James, that is Paul Freeman's son.
Okay.
All right, so we would have all the tracks and this, everything we've been talking about. We would have this guy's living son on to talk about his dad, these casts, and everything else, evidence, his book.
So his son still does Bigfooting, or?
No. No. Yeah, he's kind of been out of the loop for a little bit, but he wrote a book, helped write a book, or helped create the book, the Freeman Bigfoot Files. And that was in 2022 by Michael Freeman. And so that's kind of the last thing that he did. Beginning to read the book. We could take a look at it together, actually. I have it online and stuff. I checked it out on Everand, that book thing. So well, I was pissed because I tried to actually buy it from like Google. I tried to do it the last show and it didn't work, and I tried to do it again and it didn't let me do it. So I said, okay, screw it. I'm going to go on this and I'm just going to get a subscription real quick. And I'm going to fucking check the book out and I'm going to read the book. And if I want to, I guess I can show a little bit about the book. So that kind of made me mad. So it's like, I'm just going to do this. I'll get a subscription and then I'll just cancel the subscription. I guess I just won't pay nothing, basically. So instead of fucking buying the book like I was going to. So it doesn't matter.
You could probably get a subscription, download the book, and then cancel the subscription.
Actually, you know what I discovered, and it's kind of hilarious. So the book, I would suggest buying the book and stuff too. If I would like a hard copy and stuff, but I got a lot of books, and I find myself not having a lot of room for already the stuff I have when it comes to books. And because you got to put them up. My kids like books, and books seem to be a lot harder for me to display and not be messed with and all that. But I would suggest buying it because it seems to be so far a really good, interesting book, and there's a lot of images and there's all these QR codes and stuff, but you can look at all the different QR codes and all the audio files that's on Hanger One Publishing and stuff. So you actually go there and go to blogs and the Freeman Bigfoot Files, and then you actually have all of those QR codes that you can actually check out and stuff. So I'm not sure if they made to do that on purpose or that, so everything's public anyways. But owning the book and stuff, I guess we'll take a look at it right now. Just a couple stuff. Because there's some interesting descriptions and pictures that you can't find anywhere else. I mean, I don't think I I mean, I guess I could do a show about the book, but I think having Michael on would be way more awesome and important. So
his son basically compiled all of his father's evidence into a book. Is after he died, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, something like
That's
that, was
pretty
it?
cool.
Wait, why isn't this not what the heck?
Wow.
Give me a second. Let me refresh that because
Maybe it just won't let you.
it really wants to mess with me. I tell you what, it's
Maybe it won't let you
technology.
stream it for some reason. Just like
No,
copyright.
nah.
Okay.
It's not copyright. It's I'm checking out this book. I'm allowed to read it, and we can do a live reading of books. People do it all the time. So here's the Wrinklefoot cast, half cast from 1984. This is the other one that Cliff and Meldrum jump on the bandwagon with that we didn't get into. There we go. I would say there should be more. So this whole book, 283 pages of photographs and captions and different stuff that you probably won't find anywhere else. So for anyone who loves books, love collecting books, and likes collecting Bigfoot stuff, you got to have this book. So I would recommend it. And plus, you get all the QR codes. There's a couple. I mean, I don't know, a dozen or more audio files of Freeman talking and stuff, giving different audio files of just him talking about speaking his mind of the tracks of his son's different encounters. There's like 10 pages when you click on these QR codes, right, and you go onto the Hangar One Publishing website, and it's all these Bigfoot Freeman files. There's 10 pages worth of audio, video, talking about Broken Foot, back to WW, hunting, a couple ladies, whatever that audio file is about. And in the book, it'll give a little description and stuff, of course. And then you can click on it or go to do the QR code and jump onto it. But if you go to just the website, like Freeman Bigfoot Files, Hangar One Publishing, you have all these audio files you can listen to, but you don't have the description that the book gives you about it. So you kind of need to read the book a little bit, and so kind of like this Paul and 8-year-old Michael salmon fishing and stuff like that. So I plan on reading the book and stuff. I unfortunately was hoping to kind of dive into it a little bit before I was able to today, so I was not able to really get into it much besides skimming through it. But I plan on reading it and stuff, and then I might make a commentary on it and stuff.
So did Michael go out with his father and have encounters, or
No.
He'd had encounters on itself by itself, right?
Yeah, and his older brother Dwayne had an encounter. So like this and stuff. You click on this, and it will take you over to the website, and it'll just do it right here. So you take you right over here, and then bam, you got an audio file. 2 minutes. Where
Oh, so you're saying the QR code, you can, if you buy the book itself, you can scan the QR code and it'll take you there.
Yeah. I'll take you right here to the same audio file, and then I'll play. I don't know if you guys can hear it because I don't think.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, okay. Sweet. So yeah, you can yeah. Or if you wanted to look at the files and stuff, you could I think it's the Freeman Files Bigfoot blog, Hangar One Publishing, and then you could just get to this page that has all of the files on it, but you don't get the description that's in the book. So Sure, yeah. So yeah, I was going to dive into this a little bit. I guess we could flip around and show a little bit. Here's Paul Freeman and Ray DeHinden just below the site of Paul's original encounter. This was taken in winter of 1987. And this was probably before Renee DeHinden started calling Paul Freeman a hoaxer. Once that video came out, Renee DeHinden was pretty on his ass. I think before that, actually. But so yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of different stuff. I guess could get into some of these photographs and tracks and stuff that you ain't gonna find anywhere else. So that's why I wanted to. Originally, I was gonna buy the book, but my Google account wouldn't let me. It made me change my password and make a new password, and then I said, "Well, okay, f you." That's what I said. They made me change the password, and I just said, "Let me buy the fucking book." I said this. I literally said, "Let me buy the fucking book." My whole Google account and everything is about Bigfoot. Like, what the fuck's the problem? They didn't respond, but they quickly made it right. But then at that point, I was kind of pissed. So I was like, "No, I'm not going to buy it through Google." I wanted to buy the hard copy from Hanger One Publishing. You get a 10% discount on your first buy if you go to the website. There you go, Doug. There's a little promotion. But I decided not to. And then I was like, I want to read it. I'm going to read it now. So let me do some internet digging and let me see if I could, figure out where to get it. So I got it here. So yeah, there's some interesting tracks. I think there's a lot of cool stuff. Really a lot of stuff we could continue to go into a whole another hour or two just on this. So, I don't think Michael would care too much if we, looked at the book or even, I don't know if you guys want me to read the whole damn fucking book, but look over the book a little bit. I think it would help just shining some light on his dad and his findings and the tracks and so people are saying he made these with stompers and stuff and all these with stompers, and I think it's fascinating how it doesn't add up. The patrol agent dude's story doesn't add up with the fucking miles of trackway that they supposedly found at the same site. So like, me, James, like if we were at a site and there's fucking a Bigfoot track that goes a mile that way and a mile that way, that me and you can track. I mean, a border patrol agent who's an expert in expert tracker should most definitely be able to look and follow. I mean,
yeah,
we're not fucking experts, but like, if a survival instructor can follow a Bigfoot track for that long, I think the border patrol agent could. So what's the issue? What's the reason why he couldn't? Did he not want to? Is that what's going on?
I guess it depends on, was he there? How long? Like when did he get there? Was it like a couple days after? Was it a week after? How long have the tracks deteriorated?
Well, we just read the article. It was I think it was just a couple days. I'd have to pull the article out.
Because like if you lose track of a couple of them, you might lose the whole trackway, right? But I guess it depends on if you just stopped.
Well, both people kind of
turn
arrived
around
after a couple days, and both. Colleague of Dr. Krantz showed up on January 25th to see the trackway, and again on February 1st. And he is the one who's noted that there was no interruption in the trackway over the 6 to 8 miles he followed them above. It is I don't know. I don't think it's 6 to 8 miles. I think it's what this says up here. It says The total distance this animals was tracked is about 2 miles, is approximately 2 miles. So I think it was tracked for 2 miles, but it was 8 miles above the Mills Creek area. Maybe that is what this is getting at. There was no interruption in the trackway over the 6 to 8 miles he followed them above. Maybe we need to get Cliff on here and talk about that.
Yeah, good luck.
Get. I mean, I met Cliff a couple times. I mean, we have a decent enough relationship that he might come on. I mean, I don't think Cliff would do some controversial stuff. I don't think he wants to like get back and forth with someone like that. So he's a little bit more professional than that to get bogged down to that kind of like a back and forth discussion that may get heated a little bit depending on someone was on and hard hitting questions. But at the same time, you got to ask a little bit of these questions. You got to find out the answers. So I mean, if you don't, then we're not really doing science. We're not really doing our part. So yeah, here's a little bit of some of these photographs that you're not going to find anywhere else, probably, unless you really, 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 really know some people and look very hard. So yeah, there's a little bit of some tastes for you guys, but we're not going to show all of it because. Well, I really don't want to right now. I guess. I mean, it's been 2 hours. I kind of wanted to go 2 hours. I didn't know how things would go, but I mean, I guess it would depend on people in the audience and stuff. We're not. I don't know if you guys wanted us to continue to look at some of those Freeman, some of those photographs at least, some of those track stuff's never seen before. We could do another one with the book. We'll just look at the book and stuff, or public access and stuff. Because I found one library where you could check it out at online for free, but you got to be an Oregon Public Library member. It's one of some of these districts in Oregon. They got the book that you could check out if you have a library card. Or you pay some of these different places that have the book that you can e-read the book and stuff, subscription like what I did, or if you want to buy the book, of course, which I kind of wish I kind of did, but at the same time, I was like, I don't want to wait. And I'm glad I didn't, because I'm kind of eager to jump into this and read about it and look into this a little bit more after the show, and maybe you guys give a little bit more taste about some of the stuff that I actually want to put together to show instead of showing the entire book. I don't really want to do that. You guys should, help support Michael and buy the book if you guys want to. But maybe a look at it and stuff and put together at least all the tracks and some different cool stuff and all that. So yeah. Yeah, that's about it, I think, for this show. I mean, I guess we could try the Jeff Meldrum's book again, read from that, but that'd be about it. Just some more reading and stuff. Yeah. Other than that, as soon as I figure out, as long as these brakes are working good tomorrow, might be able to get out in the woods a little bit. So, if not later this week, sometime this week, get out in the middle of nowhere. Looks like we lost Mr. James. He was there, now it's just gone. That's okay. I was going to ask James if he was going to get out anytime soon and stuff, but I know he's working. It's kind of hard during the week. You got to make time, everyone, you got to make time. So usually, you got to sacrifice some time for another time. And so I might try to get out tomorrow, or I should do a lot of my push-ups that I need to rack up and do for this month. I'll be should be on set and pace to match and exceed 5,000 push-ups this year. James's Wi-Fi went out, he says. So I got a couple push-ups to do tomorrow, at least 300 to keep on track. Probably more if I feel into it. Because, you should, you don't want to be like those guys who died in the middle of the woods because they succumbed to the elements. I'm not sure their physical capabilities and stuff, but if you sit on the couch all year long and then you go looking for Bigfoot, putting your body through an extreme situation that you weren't really ready for, prepared for, haven't trained for, you are asking for trouble. And so it's 100% my belief that everyone, no matter what your age or physicality is, to start somewhere, to start exercising, start working out, start getting your body prepared in case something happens, in case anything happens. Having a body that has a little bit more muscle than what you have now is going to help protect you in case of anything that happens, accidents, falls, especially. You're going to want your body to have some extra resources like muscle to feed on. Because sometimes, you get in a bad accident and your body will eat up every resource that it has to heal. And muscle is a lot better resource than fat and stuff. And so if you want to heal and you get really, really sick and your body's eating itself, using that extra fuel and burning all that, having that muscle to burn is a lot better for you than having that fat to burn. And it's going to do a lot for you. So I gotta promote exercising, basic exercises from push-ups and stuff. If you're older, disabled, and really messed up, I would suggest DDP yoga because that's the only thing I've seen that really rehabilitates broken people, like wrestlers and stuff. People who are in wheelchairs get on this kind of program and stuff, and they end up doing astronomical things compared to what they once were able to do. So if you're a little bit more fit and able to do stuff, do some push-ups, get in a good program, start lifting weights and all that. I say do the push-up challenge, which is 1,000 push-ups a month. And then once you do that, start building or do 100 push-ups a day. Get yourself up. So we get 1,000 push-ups a month, then you do 3,000 push-ups a month, and then you get yourself to 5,000 push-ups. And then we're going to be going up to 7,000, and we're going to be trying to do 10,000 push-ups in the month here. The goal is before next December. Of course, I think it's going to be achievable. Considering I did 1,200 the other day in a 3-hour period, so I think we'll be pretty good and stuff. And that is here's James. Oh, what's up, buddy? We can't hear you if you're talking.
I thought it was on your end, and then I realized, I had no Wi-Fi.
You were there, and then I went to go and talk to you, and then you were like blipped out. I was like, what the heck? I was like, he passed out or something. So yeah, what about you? Doing any push-ups, boy, or what? You gonna be doing the push-up challenge?
No.
No. And that's 100% okay. This is not a requirement. I don't make James or the other members do push-ups to stay on the Lost Cryptids members. It's not a requirement as much as I think it would be hilarious to do so. It's not required. 10 push-ups every day, 10 push-ups. So no, yeah, I gotta do some push-ups tomorrow. I was supposed to do some today, so I gotta do some tomorrow. That is one of the hardest things. Is once you get used to doing them, it's not really doing them, it's doing the amount of them to keep to just the days that you need. I need to do this amount today, and you got to fit it in somewhere and fit it in. And that is the most trickiest thing that I'm finding. It's not doing the amount anymore. It's the time and when I'm able to do it. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, I had a pretty good day. Busted out 1,200, and it's amazing and stuff. And I really imagine what the Sasquatches could do and stuff, because your body gets to a certain place, and it's like, well, for me anyways, you get to a certain number, and it's just like, okay, I'm about to die, and then it's like, I haven't died yet, or you haven't gave up yet, and it's like, and then it's like, your body just gets used to it, and it's pretty amazing feeling and stuff. And I suggest everyone to get out there and do it, because you'll feel better about yourself. And for those of you who are serious about going and doing research, I mean, if you want to get out there farther, be better, stronger, and have a defense system that can help against sprained ankles, twisted knees, fractured bones, building up your ligaments and your muscles and your legs and stuff are going to help strengthen your capabilities of when you twist something and you jank something and you're going over hard terrain. That ain't going to cripple you instantly. That you might be able to take a couple more of those before you really get impacted, compared to if you don't do anything at all. That first slip up could really take you out of the game. And then, depending on how far you are in the woods, you got to get back to your car. And if you're by yourself and your knee's messed up and you're like a beluga whale out there, you're really in a very bad situation, and it's going to come apparent fast. But, you build your muscles up, at least you have some kind of defense against that. Your percentage of things going wrong greatly reduce. So that's why I promote that, because there's a lot of people going out there, a lot of people having fun, but you watch these videos of I watched this video of this woman, this mother, a little overweight. She's falling down, and that stroller rolls into the road, and she tries to get up, and she's not able to get up. She's not able to get up, let alone run to save the stroller from going into the road. Luckily, a passerby was physically capable enough to go run and save that baby. So to me, that right there, that should be all the motivation in the world, that you're helpless if you can't get up and physically do stuff. And if you're able to and stuff, I think a lot of people are too lazy and don't help themselves enough instead of trying stuff. A lot of people quit too easy. So, but enough about that. I guess we'll probably end the show here. Crash landing this plane as a big Gulf explosion of fire, because that's what we do here. Very professional stuff. Is there anything else? Are you going to go out anytime soon, James? Or hopefully things okay. Maybe we could get out one of these other weekends coming up. So
yeah, I don't know exact time, but I'd like to.
You're like, when it warms up.
Well, I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon.
No, we got at least a whole another month of winter. Yeah. So but ideally I want to try to get into one of our spots and look for tracks. It's been dead. It's been a dead winter. I haven't heard or experienced nothing. So, which is typical, but gotta get out there and try. So just freezing my face off. That's about the only thing I did. I took a little bit of pictures and stuff, but
yeah.
Actually, I might go squirrel hunting the next time I go out. So I kind of be doing a little bit of both. I'll be squirrel hunting, but I'll be going off trail and doing some stuff. And Bigfoots are seen by hunters, so maybe that hunting activity will increase my percentage just a little bit more, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm hoping. Plus, it's been a while and stuff. I think it's been like 2 years since I last hunted and squirrel hunted, so I kind of get the itching going. I put a new scope on the 22, got it sighted in back in the fall, and I haven't gone out yet. So I really want to get out before it's April because that's when the season's over with. So yeah, do a little squirrel hunting and stuff. Maybe if you got a little 22 or something, we could go out together. Might be a fun.
I don't yet. I got a pellet gun.
I mean,
just
you could use it. I mean, yeah. I mean, shotguns and stuff like that too.
I got a 12.
I mean, shotguns are fun and stuff, but I like the 22. It's a little bit more challenging and stuff.
I got a 38 special. 9mm.
I mean, technically, you can, but obviously you're not gonna harvest much meat. I mean, usually when I kill squirrel, I'm gonna cut the meat off of it. I'm gonna eat some meat, so I'm gonna do the whole 9 yards of skinning it, cutting it, and getting that meat tasting good, and not just I don't know, shooting and throwing it away type of stuff, but you actually try to use it. So yeah, the shotguns, I just I don't know. It's not as it's easy. It's too easy.
Yeah,
it's a little too easy. Sometimes it's like, man, that wasn't as satisfying as the 22, but yeah. Yes. I got some stories. I got some stories of squirrel hunting with some guys before too, man, about blowing their fucking foots off with a shotgun. And it's just like walking, just walking. And it really made me like, I'm gonna hunt by myself. I don't want to know dumbasses around me fucking shooting me and shooting their foot off, and yeah. I got some stories, man. I got some stories.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna end the show here, guys. So if you guys want to find me, you can find me on the Facebook page, the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. Of course, the Facebook group. I'm always posting in different groups in different places and stuff. You can contact me at lowercaseblake.442dodge@gmail.com for my instant direct email that I check every other day. I try to check it every day, but I always seem to misplace stuff. So, but contact me there. Contact me on Facebook and all that. Hopefully, we have some interesting shows. We get off some different topics than Mr. Freeman and stuff, unless part 4 comes around, and then hopefully have maybe some guests and stuff on, but some other interesting topics. So I'm not sure if we're gonna have a Tuesday show or if a Tuesday show might be like a hangout show. So if other people want to come on and join and talk about some stuff, that might happen. If not, it might bounce around to next week, or I'm not quite sure. I don't like to put down dates, and I've been trying to keep consistent, but I don't like to set up something super far in advance with something happening. So anyways, if there's nothing else from you, James.
I'm all good.
Oh, good. I appreciate everyone in the chat, everyone who's watching, everyone who's suffered, everyone who's still here, happy with a smile on their face. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless all of you, because you all are so important, wonderful. And I think this year we're going to do some free events. I'm actually thinking about doing some campouts and stuff, maybe doing a conference campout that might be free. You just pay for your camping type of thing and hang out with Lost Cryptids at the same time. So looking into that. But yeah, we're going to get together some camping dates that all set. So if you guys want to go with us, we're going to put some dates out there. Contact us, and we'll figure out exactly where we're going to go and see if we can get you into the state, host you guys, have some good witnesses, some Bigfoot activity, of course, and have some fun. That's about it. See you guys next time.
Have a good night.